According to Amanda Rale, in a 2023 article from the Harvard Business Review, every single day you make a jaw dropping 33,000 decisions, most of them without even thinking. Yes, every single one of you makes a bazillion decisions in one day. Okay, maybe not a bazillion, but you get the idea. From the smallest choices like deciding what to wear or eat to the life altering ones like about money, career, and relationships, we are constantly put through a labyrinth of options, often without even realizing it. Research from Cornell University indicates that individuals make approximately 226.7 decisions related to food each day. Yes, about food. The majority of these choices happen relying on subconsciously stored beliefs about what's considered good or bad. Now, I want you to imagine yourselves at a cafe with a friend. You order your favorite drink, the vanilla latte, which you have enjoyed many times before. But today, there's a new option, a matcha infused coconut latte. Your friend loves it and encourages you to try it, but you hesitate. You stick with the latte as the matcha seems risky. As your friend enjoys the matcha, you begin to wonder if you have missed out on something better. Now, raise your hands if you have ever experienced something like this before. What you have experienced here is something called a cognitive bias, specifically the status quo bias. This is observed when people prefer familiar choices over new options, even when alternatives may be more beneficial. The term was first coined by researchers William Samuelson and Richard Zeckhauser in their pivotal 1988 study, The Status Quo Bias in Decision Making. A follow-up study examined the status quo bias among electric power consumers. The findings showed that 60.2% of consumers with reliable service and 58.3% of consumers with less reliable service chose to stick with their current plan, even when presented with better alternatives. Curious to see for myself, I did a little study of my own. To see the status quo bias in action, I surveyed 60 random people, and guess what? 40 of them had already fallen prey to the status quo. If only that were all. Cognitive biases aren't the only things we have on our plate. Our decision making is greatly influenced by heuristics, mental shortcuts that help us make quick decisions without fully analyzing all of the information available. The availability heuristic leads us to carry out decisions based on the most easily accessible memories our brains can dig up for us. This heuristic is powerful as it can lead us to overestimate the likelihood of rare events. For instance, shark attacks average only about 10 fatalities annually worldwide. Even though the actual risk of a shark attack is extremely low, that is, about 1 in 11.5 million, after a reported attack, beachgoers may feel an exaggerated sense of fear, choosing to avoid swimming, even though drowning is statistically a far greater risk. Don't you find this strange? Why would someone choose an option that's worse, even when a better one is already available? Well, the human mind is just funny that way. We can think of decision making as a pathway that leads to a desirable result. Just as a traveler picks a road based on their destination, we navigate through life's choices, each decision, whether minor or significant, shaping our outcomes. But there's a catch. The path to our goals is sometimes clear and easy to follow, but it gets foggy most of the time. Unfortunately, there are too many people who take the wrong path of decision making, me included, and we can thank the illogical monster for that. This monster leads us into the domain of heuristics, cognitive biases, and emotional impulses, the very path of irrational decision making. Trust me, this isn't a good sign. The path of irrational decision making greatly diverges from our long term goals. An article written by Rory Vaden in 2012 states that procrastination costs US businesses about 10,396 USD per employee each year. This clearly shows how irrationality can cripple long term career advancement. Okay, that's cool. Now that we know why we got ourselves into this chaotic cycle, what's the solution? We know that cognitive biases, heuristics, and emotional impulses are the troublemakers that stifle us from making logical, sound decisions. How can we abandon traits that are etched so deep into the human mind? Well, the answer lies in logical reasoning, or Dr. Logic, if you still want to stick with the analogy. Dr. Logic is an expert at guiding people down the path of rational decision making, the path to our desirable goals. Let us examine his ways. But first, we need to figure out what kind of decision we're making. I know. What about choosing a restaurant? We all have done that, right? Let me outline the logical approach to selecting a restaurant. And before any of you guys say something like, choosing a restaurant does not need logical reasoning, I'll have you know, it definitely does. Now that I'm done convincing you lot, let us move on to the actual process. Step 1. Critical questioning. Ask relevant questions like, what's the occasion? Special celebration or casual meal? What type of cuisine are you craving? Consider distance. How far are you willing to travel? And of course, keep dietary needs in mind. Step 2. Analysis of premises. When analyzing a popular spot, ask what factors drive in its popularity. Is it the quality, ambience, or just the reputation? Does the overall pricing justify the experience? And are there any hidden downsides like inconsistency or higher time waits? And finally, step 3. Consideration of alternate perspectives. To broaden your view, consider exploring different options and listening to other people's experiences. Check online reviews for insights you might have missed. Are there any other cuisines worth considering? With this logical reasoning framework under your sleeve, you can make way better decisions. Now we can all become rational decision makers and stay on the right path. So, who wants to be a rational decision maker? Blink your eyes twice if the answer is yes. With Dr. Logic on our side, we can wipe out heuristics, cognitive biases, and those pesky little emotions once and for all. And remember, in the grand world of decision making, you do not want to be that person who orders the same old coffee every single time. Life's way too short for that. You've got to try that matcha and live a little. Thank you.